Hey CWA family, I am April Jackson, beautifully and wonderfully made. Today I'm going to show you guys how to sublimate a graduation frame. Alright, so I already made my design, which I did it in Canva. I like to make my designs in Canva and then print from Silhouette. So here we are in Silhouette. I'm just verifying that my paper size is correct, which is 8.5 by 11. I'm making sure it is vertical and not horizontal. Now we're going to go over to where it says File. And we're going to click File, we're going to click Merge, and we're going to bring in our images. I actually have two different images. The first one is the top image, which is for the top of the frame, where it will have the grad picture, and then the bottom is just for the bottom of the frame. So it wouldn't let me bring both of them in at the same time, so I just brought the first one, and then I'm just going in to bring the second. Now, when I do my measurements, I like to measure my images a little bit wider and longer than the actual image. As you can see, this is too big, so I'm just going to shrink it down to size. But I like to do my images a little bit larger, just so that way I don't have to worry about if it's going to be cut off or any white showing. So as you can see, I have Warner Robins High School on here. I have it closer to the bottom because the bottom part of the frame has a slit in the middle that you stick the top part of the frame in, and I don't want it to be cut off when you put the frame in, so that's why it's closer to the bottom. So we're going to resize it to 7.5 by 2.5, and then the top frame where the photo is, we're going to resize that to 7.5 by 6. This image that I have, I actually got it from off Google. It's just a stock photo, and all I did in Canva, I just changed the background color to the color of the stove. So again, the top image is 7.5 by 6. Here's how it looks when it's printed off. You have to remember, whenever you print for sublimation, you print in reverse. So you have to make sure it's always mirrored when you print for sublimation. So now I'm about to put the frames on top of the images. I wouldn't recommend you doing it. Sorry if you hear the heavy breathing. It's my daughter. She in my arms. I wouldn't recommend you taping it down underneath the heat press, but I was already underneath the heat press, so that's why mine is there. But make sure you put butcher paper down on your butcher paper or parchment paper, whichever you use, down on your heat press before you press any sublimation images, especially when it's like this, when it's extra ink everywhere. So we are putting our image down here, and then, we're putting our frames down on top of the image, and we're just going to tape them down. From here, we're just going to tape the frames down to make sure that they stay in place. All right, and before you actually put the frame down on top of the image, there's a plastic film on top. Make sure you peel it off. So we're setting our heat press to 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Make sure when you set your temperature, you also adjust your pressure. It needs to have light pressure. All right, so you're just going to tape it down, and you'll put your frame however you see fit for the top of your frame and your bottom of your frame. All right, so now that we have our frames taped down, we're going to flip them over carefully. And we're going to make sure our parchment paper or butcher paper is underneath the bottom and on the top. So that way we won't mess up the top of our heat press like I have done to mine. Then we're going to press for 400 degrees, 60 seconds with light pressure because we don't want it to break. All right, so now we're going to remove our parchment paper, and we're going to remove the sublimation paper. But remember, when you're removing the sublimation paper, remove it carefully because you don't want to get ghosting. And also, the frame it breaks easily, so you want to be careful. So y'all see that ink release? So this is the result. And as you can see how all that ink is on that parchment paper, that's why I said make sure you put down butcher paper or parchment paper. Look at that. Oh, look at that image. I can't even say it. Crafting Besties paper do it every time. So that's the bottom with the Warner Robins High School. And then you just stick the frame in the inside. And voila, magic. Isn't it gorgeous? If you need any 2022 graduation frames, you can go to CWA Academy 2022. And get graduation frames. I have them available. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for crafting with April. Please like and subscribe.